All right. Welcome everybody to Optimism Town Hall. Hope you're all having a great day and are ready to get into Superchain discussions. Optimism Town Hall is a collaborative forum with special focus on optimism governance and community coordination on Superchain. And everyone's welcome to join our weekly events where we host an interactive space where everybody can learn about optimism development, explore opportunities, share your thoughts, contribute to important discussions about the collective's future. We host these events every Thursday at 18 UC. Everybody's welcome to join. We have great discussions about various processes going on in Optimism, like retrofunding and missions, and great builders doing presentations, Q&As, and we have a democratic topic selection system that we call agendas or community agendas. Also, some kind of agendas games like OP topics that ensure discussions reflect community discussions with enabling community members to vote with on-chain reputation tokens like Optimism Fractal Respect tokens, as well as badges in the Citizens House and OP in the Token House. So yeah, everybody's welcome to join. We record each one of these videos. We make show notes for the to create educational resources for the growing Optimism community. So you can explore the website Optimism Town Hall to learn more, watch the past episodes, check out the FAQ to learn more about how it works and how you can get involved with the voting process and so forth. Of course, everybody's welcome to just share your thoughts too, and feel free to unmute or share any questions in the chat too if there's anything that you want to share on your mind. Of course, you can learn more about the Optimism Collective and the Superchain at optimism.io. It's building a world that is benefiting everyone and is owned by no one. So amazing stuff going on in Optimism for the past few years now, and recommend you learn more about the trusted community-led governance and public goods devotion of Optimism at optimism.io, and join our weekly events and RSVP for weekly email reminders and invite friends at Optimism Town Hall. Lou.ma/optimistics is where you can register for Optimism Town Hall. Actually, Lou.ma/Optimism Town Hall to keep it simple. And then the Optimistics calendar, you can also join the Optimism Fractal event that happens an hour earlier where people play the Respect game and gain influence in Optimism Town Hall, and the Eden Fractal event where pioneer fractal decision-making processes that help support the Optimism Town Hall. These are some events that you can join each week. I mentioned Optimism Town Hall videos, so you can watch the various seasons. We're now in our third season, third episode of the third season. So you can watch the first two seasons, all 12 episodes, as well as the Retro Pitches events in support of public goods creators and optimism. You can click on those to explore all the great shows that we've been doing over the past years, or past, I suppose, it was eight or 9 months since we started Optimism Town Hall. We just released our newest episode of Optimism Town Hall, or actually our season debut. We created a new introductory video, and so we talked about Optimism Town Hall ORDAO, or Optimism Town Hall Season 3, and ORDAO, the on-chain governance infrastructure that Tadas built. Rosemary also made a cool introductory video here that you can all see, and then, of course, there's always timestamps and so forth. This is published on the Eden Creators YouTube channel, where you can learn about this ORDAO software that Tadas built. So that's really exciting. And then last week, we also had some great discussions about recognizing impact in the Optimism Collective, which will be released shortly, and encourage everyone to join. And encourage everybody to watch and share any thoughts in the chat and so forth throughout. So with that, we'll get into today's agenda. So what is on the agenda today? So, I mean, first off, you can see more about the Optimism Town Hall and keep up to date with all the newest topics in gov.optimism.io, the Optimism Governance Forum, where you can learn more about Optimism Town Hall in general. And then I always propose topics in both the Discord and the governance forum here. So you can see there's been a approved topic proposal for this week to play OP topics game again. And now there's also a new poll where you can vote for topics as well. So we're going to go through this. This is the Kagendas game, optimistics.io/Kagendas, where you can learn. Basically, the way it works is that anybody can propose a topic on the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space. And then whichever topic has the most votes at 17 UTC will be the topic that we select. And specifically, this OP topics game is kind of a game where we can choose topics more dynamically and vote on several topics throughout the event. So you can see the topic that was selected is about Optimism Town Hall Season 3 and Week 3, looking forward. So I put a little message wishing everybody well here and talking about how over the past couple weeks at Optimism Town Hall, we had a bunch of topics on the agenda that we didn't get to discuss, as well as some new topics that have come up as well. So I created a new OP topics poll where we can discuss all these different topics and vote on them. There's 9 or 10 proposed topics, actually, which are Optimism Season 7 plans, Optimistics development updates, Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal 2025 planning, retrofunding discussions based upon both the previous, the now ending Optimism Retrofunding round 6, focused on governance, as well as the 2025 upcoming retrofunding rounds, retro season reflectives that we hosted recently, the Optimism Fractal Respect Game mission that I created and was recently approved, the Eden Creators mission, and general progress in the Superchain. And then also Will had proposed some topics about ID risks over the about a month ago too that I added here. So everybody can view the complete roles and vote on the weighted poll linked in here in the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space, as well as feel free to propose additional topics, or just generally feel free to raise your hand or unmute, or share some questions in the chat too for anything that you're interested in discussing. So with that, I just realized actually that I didn't pull up the window correctly. So I'm going to pull this up and go back to the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space and go to the Let's Play OB topics topic, which was basically approved as the topic that we'll discuss. And you can see the distribution of votes here for these 10 topics. So right now, the topic that has the most votes is Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal 2025 planning. So that's a topic that we'll discuss, and we might discuss Optimism Season 7 plans after that if we get a chance, because that's the second most top voted. You can see who voted here and how much they voted for. And I suppose I'll provide a bit of an introduction before we jump into it too. So I did create an article that has details about each one of these topics. So even if we didn't get a chance to discuss it, then you can dive into this and we can vote or we can vote for next week to discuss it. So that's where you can see more about how it all works, and then you can see some of the recent topics we discussed, like the ORDAO implementation, as well as the Optimistics tools development and so forth. You can learn more about each of these topics, and with a brief summary, as well as links where you can learn more about each of these topics. I want to also let people know that there has been some important updates in Optimism Season 7 that have been released, new core intent from the Optimism Foundation, as well as new updates to the mission structure and retrofunding structure too, which you can find in the Optimism Season 7 guide. I think that'll probably come up in today's topic as well, because that kind of is quite relevant, or it is very relevant really for the next steps for Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal in 2025. So encourage people, if you haven't had the chance to check it out yet, Season 7, Guide to Season 7 on gov.optimism.io, where you can learn about the new changes. And yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things going on, including an intent to focus on interoperability between various chains in the superchain, like the OP mainnet, Base, Zora, Unichain, and so forth, as well as lots of details about the budget and so forth, and various new changes to both the funding mechanisms and Optimism, as well as general governance processes. So I recommend people check it out. And I appreciate Will also proposing the topics about IDRIS with the Web3 address book and the new integration between X and Farcaster profiles. But with that, the topic that received the most votes was Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal 2025 plans. And I did put together an article here that has an overview of, kind of introducing this topic when I saw it was the topic with the most votes. So I'll kind of kick it off here. Basically, well, I'm curious to hear what everyone envisions for the future in Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall in 2025. So I'd like to just open up the space and just see what everybody has on their mind. And I also have a more specific proposal as well it's not a full proposal, it's something I've been thinking about, basically to transition Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall to a biweekly schedule, which I think could work well in coordination with Eden Fractal events. And we've talked about this at the last week's Eden Fractal event too. But before I get into any of that, I just wanted to just kind of give that overview there, and then I can continue providing more details about things that I have in mind for the 2025 Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall. But first, I just want to just open up the floor, because I know that was kind of a lot of information already, and see if anybody has any thoughts I want to share. Also want to welcome, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but I think I followed a bunch of your work on Twitter and stuff like that. So appreciate what you're doing in general. Akrtws from Token
Hello.
Engineer Academy. Hello.
Hi.
Well,
I
thanks
just
for.
wanted to say, this is efficient use of time. You're speaking very fast. I like that. Um, I think so far it's a great chance to have an overview on what's going on, because there's a lot going on in the optimism ecosystem. And in fact, it's, I guess, hard to follow for many. And having a place, or maybe even podcast, 30 minutes, get an overview, that's already very valuable. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for the feedback. And yeah, I also appreciate, I have been following your work too. I recognize your voice, and I've seen several of your presentations and several of your blog posts that you've shared on the Optimism Governance Forum. Also, we had the pleasure to meet, I believe, one of your colleagues with GovXS, if I'm remembering correctly, who shared a presentation during the Retro Pitches events that we hosted a few weeks ago at Optimism Town Hall too.
Yeah,
So really
right.
appreciate
With
everything you
Mohammed.
with Open
Cool.
Engineering Academy. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the event, and yeah, hopefully it will be very helpful for everybody who's looking to get an overview of the Optimism ecosystem. And there is a lot going on in the Superchain too. So hopefully we can provide that service to everybody and help people follow all the great stuff that's going on. And with that, if anybody else wants to unmute and share any thoughts, share any general ideas about anything on your mind, particularly if it'd be related to the topic that's selected too, about the Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal 2025, then feel free. Also, if you did want to vote, if you haven't yet voted, then you can still vote and we can change the topic as well. But otherwise, well, I see a couple people unmuted right now. So Will and Eric are unmuted. Would you like to share anything?
I would like to see this theme of this group for 2025 being "We Are Shipping." We've had a lot of products in development that I feel are great on-chain tool community, uh, signaling tools, potentially governing tools within communities, and I'd like to see the theme being that we are shipping these products and that they're available to other communities as well in their final stages of maturity so that they work effectively with the least amount of friction.
Great point. Well, thanks, Will. I agree. I know we talked maybe a month or two ago about shipping and helping perhaps the Let's Grow community benefit from the Kagendas process. And that's also along the same lines I'm thinking about too, with helping people benefit from the respect gain and respect token and so forth, as well as just generally doing everything we can to make a larger impact in the super chain and help more people enjoy the benefits of optimism. And yeah, shipping products is a way to do that. If anybody else would like to share any thoughts, or Will, if you want to further elaborate on that, then feel free. If not, I can also go ahead
I
and
think I
share.
elaborated. I think I elaborated enough on that topic of the theme.
Okay, sounds good. We got the theme to ship products. All right, we got some good messages in the chat too as well about Oop and Bangkok and DEF CON. Yeah, I heard it was amazing there. So lots of people shipping in Ethereum in general. I suppose I can go ahead and maybe share a bit more about some of my thoughts about maybe I'll share a bit more about Optimism Season 7 because I feel like there was a lot of information there and maybe people haven't had a chance to dive into it. So maybe I'll give a little overview about Optimism Season 7, even though that was a second top topic. I think it's like quite related, as I said, to Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall 2025. So maybe I can start just by providing a little bit of a base overview in more detail about that. I see Rosemary giving a thumbs up. And then from there, I can also share a bit more about my thoughts with the best direction to go with Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal, as well as if anybody has any thoughts you want to jump in with and share throughout the event, then feel free at any point. And very much welcome your thoughts and appreciate any feedback along the way. Okay, so as I mentioned before, there is a article called Guide to Season 7 on the gov.optimism.io forum, where you can learn uh, all about Season 7, a very comprehensive overview that was published by the Optimism Foundation 14 days ago. There's also two posts published on Mirror too, which I recommend checking out too. If you go to optimism.mirror.xyz, one is titled Retrofunding 2025 and plans for summoning Ether's Phoenix. And honing in on Optimism's vision to reward impact with profit in 2025. It's also at TLDR 2 with new plans for retroactive public goods funding and the evolution of the Retro PGF program. And then the second mirror post is building the future of Ethereum, the Superchain, and native interoperability. So at Optimism, the mission is to build an internet that benefits all, owned by all, and working to scale Ethereum and empower developers and users worldwide. And at the heart of the vision is, of course, a superchain, a unified network of interconnected chains that allows users and developers to interact seamlessly, just as they would with any Web 2 application. So going back to what he's talking about shipping, the Optimism Foundation and collective as a whole is planning to ship much more interoperability in the superchain in this upcoming year. And specifically, Optimism Season 7 is for January to June, I believe, of 2025 as well. And then there's six-month seasons where the Optimism Collective can iterate and learn from the process and so forth. So I recommend these mirror articles because they might be a bit more accessible, like from a first view than the Optimism forum post on the guide to season 7. The guide to season 7 has a more comprehensive overview, but these are maybe a bit more like good as an introduction first off. So maybe I'll lead with that, then we'll dive in a little bit to the guide to season 7, and then we'll jump into what that might mean for Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall, and people can share thoughts along the way. So a TLDR on Retrofunding 2025 is that after learning a lot from Retrofunding, the first 6 rounds and the past 3 over this year, Retrofunding in 2025, at least so far, could potentially change. But what's planned is to focus on dev tooling. So that includes developer tools like libraries and debuggers. That could also include, for example, we always talk about shipping with the Optimism Fractal community. So that could include developer tooling, like say Tadas is building the fraps and the ORDAO software as well that helps developers collaborate, as well as all kinds of different developer tools like Solidity and so forth. On-chain builders who are projects who are driving cross-chain activity, and particularly cross-chain activity. So like if people are driving transactions between Base and OP mainnet and so forth, and OP stack contributions, with a focus on Ethereum core development, which also might more so focus things like Solidity and so forth. So details on these programs will be published in January, and the end goal of Retrofunding is Ether's Phoenix, where everybody can be rewarded for creating positive impact on Optimism in relation to how much impact that they create. But for this specific season, this specific round and year, it's focusing specifically on these 3 rounds: dev tooling, on-chain builders, and OP-Stack contributions. And on-chain builders can probably be measured by like how many transactions are being processed and so forth, and the value of these. And then the building the future of Ethereum, there's also a lot more detail here, but that's kind of like the overview. So encourage people to read the full article to learn more, but just to provide a quick high-level overview. The article of building the future of Ethereum and scaling it up with the superchain. So there's been a lot of progress that has been made on unifying the superchain. Right now, it still is like it requires some manual bridging and so forth to be able to go between, say, Base and Unichain, or Zora and Ink and so forth. All these great players and great networks that have been joining the superchain. But it still does require a bit of manual bridging. And I believe, I might even be a bit outdated here too, because I know there's been a new call that happened actually, I think with updates about interoperability a couple of days ago, but it's very close to basically implementing this interoperability to make it like kind of like one big chain, basically the super chain, where people can easily transfer assets or do transactions between chains. And so there's a goal, one core intent for this season of Optimism to increase interoperability, and the specific goal that the Optimism Collective is aiming to do is do $250 million per month in cross-chain asset transfers. So transferring assets and doing transactions between all these different networks and making it really easy to grow and attract more networks to the superchain, attract more users, and drive adoption, growth, and so forth. So that's kind of a high-level overview of these 2 like main initiatives going on in Optimism Season 7. And then this article on the forum talks about, kind of summarizing Optimism Season 6 and all the progress that was made here, as well as the past progress in seasons 1 through 5. So you can see all the links there for much more detail. and then more details about this season 7 theme to share success with the high level goals of Optimism, and that specific intent that both the retrofunding and also the mission structure, which was previously just in the token house, the missions. It was previously the grants council, but the concept of missions is being expanded now so that retrofunding is included in the missions as well as foundation missions. So in season 7, everything is a mission and all missions are working towards the same intent. So foundation missions, retrofunding missions, which were previously retrofunding rounds, but now they're ongoing, not rounds, so to speak. I might have misspoken there, but ongoing initiatives where developers can maybe on a weekly or monthly or bi-monthly basis earn from retrofunding, and governance fund missions or foundation missions. The governance fund missions are the token house missions, basically. So these are the 3 main ways to earn funding from the collective, and they're all broken down in missions to make it simpler, and they're all revolving around this core intent to increase the interoperability between various chains. And you can see there's a detailed budget with several millions of OP for each of these in this season. Of course, there's much more allocated in future seasons as well. And then there's more details about the continuation of the Grants Council, Developer Advisory Board, Security Council, Code of Conduct Council, and so forth. So, and then more details about how these all support interoperability and how the collective is moving towards decentralization in season 7. So that's kind of an overview here. There's also a video here too, where you can see Justine from the Optimism Foundation providing a more visual overview of how this all works, as well as, if you click on each of these articles, then you can find much more in detail. Like there's blog posts basically for each one of these where you can find much more detail. There's a lot of detail. They're really providing a lot of information so people can learn well about what's going on in Optimism Collective. Also, I did open up the season 7 governance fund missions too. And there is a different design of missions too. So now, whereas previously there was missions that you can propose any kind of mission request for, now there's a specific, it all needs to be aligned with this intent in this season. So the specific metrics that the foundation is aiming to measure progress towards is increasing the TVL on the superchain, increasing stablecoin TVL, which is, for anybody who's not familiar, total value locked, increasing wrapped asset TVL, and increasing bridge asset. So people who are increasing TVL are much more in the scope of the missions that you can propose and that you could accomplish in season 7. So these changes are for 2025, or specifically for the first half of 2025 in season 7. And then, of course, Optimism has published a lot of articles about the path to meta governance, open meta governance, where Optimism is open and seeking community feedback on ways to best improve and refine these systems. It can go in different ways. There's comments below each of these too. So if you have some ideas about how you appreciate it or how you want this to be different or anything like that, then you can always leave a comment in the chat, and then you can help guide the future of Optimism through the Token House, through the Citizens House, and raising your voice at events like Optimism Town Hall. So I see Rosemary sharing some chats, inviting everyone to join Discord and checking out the videos. So that sounds good. I'm going to maybe pause there. So hopefully that was a helpful introduction to Optimism Season 7. And I know that wasn't the topic that received the most votes, but I figure since that's the second most votes, and it really has a big effect on the topic that has the most votes, which is about Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall, and then it was kind of essential to talk about that first. So if anybody has any comments about that, then feel free to share. And if not, I can just move right along. We do only have 6 minutes left in the scheduled event. If anybody gets some discussions sparked and some ideas, we could always extend it a bit. Sometimes we do go up to an hour, but we'll make sure it's concise. And if there's no other thoughts, then we'll wrap it up in the next 5 minutes or so. And but we definitely should touch on this topic though, because everyone here at the Optimism Town Hall, lots of people are, have joined a lot of Optimism Town Hall and a lot of Optimism Fractal events, and are, that received the most votes, and people are, very committed to the community and excited to grow in different ways. So I very much appreciate that. And I've been thinking a lot about what this means for Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall. Obviously, these means a lot of different things depending on what people are building in the Superchain, and it can mean different things for each person. but I'll talk a little bit about what I've been thinking with Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal. And with that, I did create this article here about Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall 2025 planning and strategic evolution. And yeah, so you can check out this article on the Optimistic's blog to read through it. I won't read through the whole thing, but I'll just give you a high-level overview. Basically, in light of these changes, I think it makes sense for Optimism Fractal, in particular, also Optimism Town Hall 2, to rally around this concept of interoperability. And we do, for example, I mentioned Eden Fractal is now deploying the ORDAO software that Tadas had built. And that will be ready probably next month or two. And Optimism Fractal is deploying the ORDAO software that Tadas built as well. That will be deployed soon. Actually, no, the Optimism Fractal ORDAO software has already been deployed for Optimism Fractal as of last week, but he's upgrading it to V1.1 soon. And this allows like the Fractal community to have their own on-chain account, basically, based on the 65 builders who joined for the first 4 seasons and can make decisions on-chain. And I think it would be great, being now that Optimism Fractal has an on-chain presence, to work across different networks and help align with this vision of and this intent of interoperability between these different chains. So with Eden Fractal launching on Base, and then I know Zal is implementing the ORDAO software, and also there's several communities using the Respect.Games app now, which is now deployed on Base. So there's lots of opportunities that Optimism Fractal itself can expand across these different super chains. And I've also been speaking a lot with members of the Optimistics, like, for example, Tadas and Rosemarie. We spoke at the Eden Fractal event last week, which if you went to edenfractal.com/videos, you could see the full video, and I recommend people checking out. But we discussed how we could also change our schedule as well for Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall. So usually we've been operating on for pretty much everything except for a couple of seasonal breaks in between, we've been operating on a weekly schedule for both these events. And what I'm planning to propose, I'm pretty sure I think it's a good idea. I'm curious to hear feedback, is to switch Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall to operate on a bi-weekly schedule starting in January of 2025. I think we'll take a brief break, maybe for a week or so, for the holiday season around New Year's and Christmas time, and then come back and basically, I think it'd be best to do that bi-weekly schedule and alternate it with Eden Fractal. So Eden Fractal would then move to a Thursday schedule if this is passed. So this is just coming from me right now. And I've spoken with, say, for example, Rosemarie. I've spoken with Tadas. Tadas had some different ideas too. So it's not totally determined. And this is the first time I'm bringing it up with people in the community like Eric and Will and Hervesto. So very curious to hear your thoughts if you have some different ideas about it. But going with what Will said, I think this would be most helpful for us to ship our products better. It'll give us more time to promote to different communities in the Superchain and build more relationships with different communities on Base and all these different networks. And also, I'm thinking about this would also probably need to come with a new game prompt of some sort. So, for example, right now we have what you do to help optimism over the past week at Optimism Fractal, and that could change to what you do to help optimism over the past 2 weeks instead of past week. So there'd be that. I also thought we could add the word grow instead of help, but that's kind of a smaller detail. And then I'm also thinking about, and I just thought of this a couple of days ago, but I'm thinking about Eden Fractal having a new prompt about what you do to advance governance, coordination, or public goods over the past 2 weeks. This is like a very early draft idea, but would be curious to hear any thoughts about it that people might have. And the idea here would be that people who enjoy the benefits of Optimism Fractal weekly events for the accountability, the community building, and so forth, would still be, of course, very welcome at the Eden Fractal events where we play the Respect game. And being that Eden Fractal is deploying the ORDAO software on Base and going with a mission to implement fractal decision-making process throughout society, which is essentially supporting Optimism Fractal's products, this would be basically enabling that kind of still weekly schedule just between Optimism Fractal and Optimism and Eden Fractal on that Thursday UC, and then Optimism Town Hall would continue on that bi-weekly schedule along with Optimism Fractal too. So yeah, I outlined some strategic benefits here in terms of ecosystem alignment, resource optimization, and community growth that I kind of probably went over most of this. And there's also some details about the technical implementation too with ORDAO. And basically, next steps, I encourage everyone who's interested and wants to participate in discussions and help guide the community. One, feel free to share your thoughts here with any thoughts you may have in mind. And then secondly, I encourage you to check out the Eden Fractal 2025 strategy document, which I had shared in the chat, in the Discord chat, before last week's event during the Optimism Town Hall. So maybe I'll pull it up briefly so people can see it. And then I also encourage you to watch the Eden Fractal video too, as the Eden Fractal video is quite related. As we discussed this, obviously Eden Fractal, it's not Optimism Fractal, it's a different community, but a lot of aligned community members. And generally speaking, it has a big effect on, or it's working to guide like this product shipping and development of the things that Optimism Fractal is building, both across the Superchain, also in the wider Ethereum ecosystem, also across the world, as Eden Fractal's mission is to implement these throughout society. So you can see, of course, if you're not familiar with it, you can go to EdenFractal.com. There's actually recently an update to the Eden Fractal website where it provides more details about what we've been doing here at Eden Fractal for over 2 years. Our mission to implement these fractal decision-making processes and these products through that society via collaborative research, development, education, gamification, community engagement, as well as there's now a new blog too where you can learn more. And yeah, this video, if you go to edenfractal.com/videos or the Eden Creators YouTube channel, you can check out the discussion where we talked about the ORDAO deployment and the cross-chain implementation as well as we talked about general ideas about changing the dates. I know Tadas also had some different ideas too, and we are planning to we're thinking about integrating, creating a higher order fractal, which is something that Tadas had thought of about a year ago or so. And the idea there would be awarding people who have contributed to Optimism Fractal with this higher order fractal respect as well, to help guide the development of fractals in general, fractal decision-making processes. So all sorts of stuff that's kind of in like early phases of ideas right now, or we've been thinking about for a while, but that are, I think, coming together to make 2025 a year where we can really ship and maximize and really grow our impact on the super chain with all the stuff we've been building over the past year plus, as well as implement these throughout society now that we have great tools that are nearing production readiness to be able to make it easy for anybody to play really, and enjoy the benefits of it, along with all the like amazing community members that have been promoting these products and so forth, and the educational resources we have and so forth. So that's kind of an overview here. I know I kind of spoke for a bit longer, and we are 3 minutes past the hour, so I think I'll wrap it up. But yeah, I recommend if you want to check out the message in the Optimism Fractal Discord or the Optimism Town Hall chat, then you can find this message here where you can learn more about these ideas for Eden Fractal, as well as there is this detailed document. You don't have to, it's up to you how much you want to read into, but I'm just providing some resources for anybody who's interested in learning about this, about the core intents of Eden Fractal and these potential change of schedule events, and the new implementation of ORDAO and stuff like that, part of the Epoch 2 initiative for Eden Fractal. And then, yeah, if you want to check out this Optimism Fractal and Town Hall 2025 planning document, then you can. I'm going to add links here at the bottom to make it easy to find too. I just didn't get the chance to do that, but that's there. And so really excited about everything we've accomplished in 2024, and really grateful for everybody's participation and contributions. It's been wonderful, and we're almost near the end of the year. So I'm very much looking forward to taking everything we built, this foundation, and working towards exponential growth to help out the super chain and to help out grow these processes and these products of Optimism Fractal and help everyone benefit from them. With that, as I said, we could go longer. So if anybody has any questions or comments, yeah, baby. Sounds good. Well, glad to hear you excited about Will. If you have any comments, then I'd be curious to hear about it. Harvesto, Rosemary, Eric. Also, if you have any thoughts, feedback, ideas, questions, anything at all, then feel free, or else we can also wrap it up whenever we're ready to.
No, it's a lot to unpack there, right? So, I mean, I get it. I get it what the Optimism Collective's core intents are going to be for at least the first half of 2025. So, and you did a great job of explaining how that fits back into the Optimism Fractal community. So, all good information.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Thank you, Will. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yes, it is a lot to unpack. I've been working to unpack these ideas for several weeks now. And so um yeah, you take your time. If you have any time throughout the week, if you want to watch that video, or we'll also produce this recording and share it as soon as possible so people can rewatch. And also, you can check out this article. I'll share these articles again in the Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall chat, so you or anyone else can dive in deeper. And feel free to share any thoughts in the chat, or also we can discuss this next week. I think I'll probably make a proposal at some point soon, but still haven't planned that yet exactly. So we can have some time for any feedback or questions or comments that might arise in next week's event, as well as in the chats throughout the week. Does it?
I guess the only question that I would have is, have we given more thought to how ORDAO is going to drive the hatch tree?
Yeah. So I was thinking of that actually yesterday. So I did mention ORDAO a couple times actually. So maybe I'll just real quick go here for anybody who's not familiar with ORDAO. Optimistic.io/tools. You can learn about the apps that the Optimism Fractal community members are building, such as Respect.games and Fractalgram. And that was also a top voted topic too. So maybe we can discuss that next week about new updates with these apps. And the ORDAO app, you can scroll down and learn about the tools, and you can check out the ORDAO app. It's the EVM smart contracts that facilitate decentralized on-chain governance system that's been approved by Optimism Fractal and other communities. Of course, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. And then there's the hats tree. We also have an article about that too, where we are allocating different roles in the Optimism Fractal community, such as people who lead the respect games based on how much respect that they've earned at events and different things like that. We have lots of episodes and videos about this as well too. Shout out to everybody in the hats community and Jacob and everybody. So yeah, so right now I'm currently the top hat of Optimism Fractal on the hats tree, and we did discuss this, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago. I think Patrick briefly mentioned it, or somebody briefly mentioned it. I'm not exactly
Yeah, I
sure.
think I mentioned it, and yeah,
Okay.
I think we discussed it. So I just wondered if we had any more developed thought around it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there's been no specific progress. I was just thinking, I think it might be best to wait until we have a good front end for ORDAO, like with Fractalgram basically, because right now, as we discussed 2 weeks ago, when we had when Tadas introduced the the deployment of the ORDAO software, one question I asked at the end of it was, like, what are the safeguards basically? And it was kind of like, so ORDAO has the OR console right now, which is a command line interface that is pretty accessible, but I haven't had the time to like dive into deeply how to use it yet. I know Tadas hosted the office hours and I learned there, but I would still need a bit of like, research and training and stuff like that to remember how to use exactly. And once the Fractalgram app is like more fully developed, I believe that both Abraham and Howard are developing this app to build a front end for ORDAO, not just with playing the respect game, but also with like approving proposals and stuff like that. I think that would probably be best to switch it over. I mean, I'm open to switching it over sooner, but I just think that like basically, if I were to switch over the top hat right now for the Optimism Fractal hats tree, then it's kind of like maybe putting more just it, it's kind of like putting Tadas in the top hat a little bit, because Tadas is like maybe one of the only people who really has a deep familiarity with using the ORDAO. And like right now there's no like notification system for ORDAO. So I'm kind of just like kind of relying on Tadas just to take care of it and just trusting him right now with that. And we could technically confirm it would be difficult, but I think once we get the interface hooked up with ORDAO and Fractalgram, and we have like a single app where we can see proposals and make proposals, that would make it really easy. So we can go in there and like just basically make a proposal, like here's what we want to do with our hats tree or something like that. Or we can make a proposal, here's what like we want to make a new hat, or we want to add this hat or remove that hat or whatever. But at the current time, I think it just like it's a little bit maybe early to do that. And I think that we should probably just like maybe sit on the hats tree as it is until we have a more accessible interface to propose those changes using ORDAO. So that's my thinking. I'm open to different things too. I'm not trying to like keep the top hat on forever or anything. I think it's good to switch over to ORDAO. I think that just once we have the app interface making it easier to vote with ORDAO, then it will make more sense to transition over then. And I haven't discussed that with Tadas either, or anybody else. So
Well,
maybe
no, I
something
mean
different
that's
works. But
fair, right? You want the top hat to be um, a fully developed mechanism for that. So yeah.
hmm yeah, and I don't think it'll be too long. I'm curious to hear from Abraham and Howard. I know Howard was in your breakout room, so I'm curious to hear. I know he's been actually integrating fractalgram with hats, so he might be somebody who's perhaps most knowledgeable about like where this is at, because he might also be trying to integrate ORDAO directly with hats in some way too. So um, yeah, happy to switch it over at some point, but at this point, it doesn't seem like the biggest priority because like we're using it to some extent, but it's kind of like a proof of concept right now still. And I think that once we get that really easy to use interface, then we can really start like playing with the hats tree much more as it is though right now too. So I stated, I think that basically I think that this should be like I'm not planning to just like as the top hat just like add hats or like make just decisions on my own or anything like that. I don't think that like I think it should be like the community hats and stuff like that, or like the community decisions basically. So the way that I'm planning to make any changes to the hats tree for the time being is just using the Optimism Fractal Council process. So um, if you go to the optimismfractal.com and then you go to either optimismfractal.com/council or you click on the lead place and you hit Sage Council at the top, then we have the process that Will is very well familiar with, where everybody can basically register in the Optimism Fractal snapshot space to join the council. And there's an opt-in process where you can do so. There's more details here for anybody who's not familiar with how this works. It's a fractal democracy process, and there's specific rules about how this works that you can learn about in our core intents at the top two. But yeah, basically everybody can opt in, everybody can make a proposal, and anybody who's earned respect rather can do so. So if anybody goes into the Optimism Fractal snapshot space, which you can find in the lead tab as well, and then if you want to add a hat or remove a hat or anything like that, then you can just make a proposal. And I see Tadas just created the poll to ask anybody who wants to participate in the Week 52 Council. So yeah, if anybody wants to make a change to the hats tree, then if you make a proposal and it gets approved according to the consensus process, then I'll just make a change to the hats tree. And then when the time is right, then we'll switch it over to ORDAO. So it's like totally decentralized. Okay, well, hopefully that was helpful. I saw, by the way, Tadas a little while ago, right? He had to go. Thanks everyone for the meeting. And um, I want to remember her name. Actress, Akrtws from Token Engineering Academy said had to jump off. Thank you so much. So great to hear. Hope that everybody's enjoyed the event. Hope everybody enjoyed the town hall and the Optimism Fractal. If anybody had any last thoughts, any last questions, comments, or anything like that, then feel free to ask. And otherwise, we can wrap it up now if you're all ready.
Yep. Nice wrap.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks, Rosemary, for sharing the link in the chat too. So that'll also be in the Discord. And yep, encourage people if they want to help lead the Optimism Fractal community going forward, click on that, go to the Optimism Fractal snapshot space and vote to register for the council for next week or whenever you want. It's totally up to you if you want to, but that's an opportunity if you want to help lead the community. And with that, I think we'll wrap it up. So it's been a wonderful event, Optimum Town Hall. We'll meet again on Thursday, December 12th at 2, no, not 2, at 18 UTC. And of course, we'll meet for the Optimum Fractal event at 18 UTC at 17 UTC as well. Everybody's welcome to join. Also, we'll be discussing more of this at the Eden Fractal event too, probably, which is on next Wednesday at December 11th at 16 UTC. So encourage everybody to join the events, encourage everybody to get involved. There's also a whole bunch of other events going on in Optimism as well, of course, that it looks like I've had to pull up. But yeah, basically, there's a whole bunch of great events going on in Optimism that you can find on the governance calendar, gov.optimism.io. And oh, there it is. I found it. With that, I think that will wrap it up. Once again, you can find this article that I wrote over here about our 2025 strategy. I'll share it in the Discord shortly so everybody can review it there and feel free to share any thoughts. And I appreciate everybody's participation in the events today. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. I hope that everybody also you can check out the stuff that's going on with the Optimism Collective on the governance forum. Once again, there you can find the links to the blog articles, something like that. So I think we'll wrap it up. If anybody wants to join me, we can go like a 3, 2, 1, go Optimism. Maybe that would sound good.
Okay.
What about yeah, baby?
Yeah, baby. That sounds good. Okay.
I mean, we decided. I mean, Patrick already set the precedent. We decided that was going to be the theme for this season. So.
That is the theme. Okay, maybe we should go 3, 2, 1, yeah, baby, and then go Optimism. Maybe we should do both.
Sure, whatever you want to do.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think Optimism is still a good theme too, of course. But
Of course.
it sounds good, and I love the yeah, baby theme. Okay, Eric, Aristo, Rosemary, are we ready? Would you like to join us as we count us off and send us off for the week? I think that's a yes. I see Rosemary's muted. She
Yes.
says, "Oh, Rosemary's asking something." What's that,
Oh.
Rosemary?
It's
I see.
my
Chambers.
Super wallet.
Oh, my Ether wallet. It looks similar to my Ether wallet, or it looks similar to
Yeah,
Chambers too.
MEW.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You get that from you get that swag from a conference or something?
Yeah, ETH Denver.
Very nice.
Actually, my good friend Vince is the CMO, or at least I think he's still the CMO there. So
Okay.
we
Wow.
only ever see each other once a year at the ETH Denver. And we always have a good time. So
Very cool. Well, yeah, I look forward to
Hopefully we'll
seeing.
see you
say again.
at the Denver. Hopefully I'll see you at the Denver.
Yeah, you're coming.
I mean, I hope so. I'll
Okay.
try.
Okay.
Yep. I hope to come too. So hopefully we'll have
Well, remember, you guys already have automatic transportation from the airport. So
Yep. Much
Yep.
appreciated. Well,
Yeah, no
thank you so
problem.
much, Will. It'll be great. It'll be great to meet up in person. And maybe getting some swag too from my Ether wallet. Great stuff going on there. Or my crypto wallet. I think my crypto. They forked or something. I don't remember exactly, but it looks very cool. I love the shirt.
anyways, all right.
Yep. Okay, cool. So I think we can wrap it up then. Thanks so much, Eric, Harvesto, Rosemary, and Will, and everybody who's joined the events and participated. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And maybe I'll count down now. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah,
baby.
baby.
Yeah,
And
baby.
go Optimism.
Optimism.
All right. Thanks all, and see you next week.
See you guys.
See you. Bye.
Bye.